This is The Blockchain Show. The Blockchain Show is a podcast that demystifies cryptocurrencies and distributed ledger technology.
Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, podcast listeners. The world is a crazy place and it's been a crazy week here. I don't know what's happening with you, but the British politics system is being compared to a submarine made out of cheese. The Russians have just invented and unveiled a fantastic future robot, which appears to be a man in a robot suit. And Donald Trump's doing his Donald Trump stuff. So with all that craziness going on, let's stick to something that isn't crazy. Let's talk about the blockchain and cryptocurrency and everything in between. And today we've got a good podcast and one I'm very excited about. We're going to be talking today about healthcare. Now, this is something which we're all going to have to use at some point, hopefully nothing too serious. And so without further ado, we're going to talk to Karston, who is at the moment in Germany. Karston, please introduce yourself and tell us about healthcare and the blockchain.
Hi, Ian. I'm very pleased to be here with you and talk about healthcare, because I believe that is actually a topic, and in particular my company Healthbank, that can contribute to a true, let's say, globalization of healthcare and borderless medicine in healthcare. So my name is Karston. I work for a company called Healthbank in Switzerland, actually. So my private home base is in Berlin. Healthbank is actually a quite exciting venture. We are building a health data exchange platform that basically enables the user to gather all the medical and non-medical data. So data from the doctor's office and as a patient record, data from hospitals, but also data from fitness devices like wearables, or from IoT devices like your smart scale at home, and put it all in one place that you as a patient or as a user have full control and full access to this data, and you and only you decide who to share this data with.
So that sounds really good. And this is something I've been waiting for. I love my Apple smartwatch. I love tracking my fitness with my phone. And I've stopped sharing all that activity on Facebook because my friends complain. But I want a portal where I can put all this information and then I can send this to a doctor and say, look, I'm really healthy, but what's wrong with me? That sounds good. So first question. Mm-hmm. And this is my interesting one. Cross-border, you say, is this global?
Yeah, that's at least what we're working towards. So right now we are operating in Switzerland and in Germany, and we do have users from the United States, from France, a few from the United Kingdom. However, what we want to achieve is basically a borderless availability of health data. Let's say it like this. So just think about if you went to Thailand, for example, to travel, and you go to the jungle and you get a certain disease, then it would be really, really helpful for you to just pull out your smartphone and have your entire health history with you that you can share with a doctor in Thailand and get some very decent help without going through all the hassle with the different tests, with your, even like, do you know what blood type you are? Do you know what medication you took last year and stuff like that? So we basically want to enable people to travel the world and have their entire medical history and non-medical history, by the way, in their pocket on their smartphone.
So does it actually translate? It can show this in many different languages.
That's one thing we're working on right now. So we're currently testing translating between English as our main language on the platform and German, which is the main user base basically that is using the services right now.
Yeah, it ist good. Yeah, okay, that's my German over. That's interesting. So this could mean that for people in America, they could get cheaper healthcare by using a system such as this, for example?
Yeah, that's what I very strictly believe. So just imagine, I mean, Ian, you are now, you said you are a very healthy young man.
I didn't say I was young. I just said I was healthy.
Okay, you are a healthy man. In a lot of cases, people are not healthy. So you probably don't give too much about your health data right now. But just imagine you are a diabetes patient. And just imagine that you could, with our service, not only combine your glucose level with your insulin intake, but you could also combine this data, glucose level, with your fitness activity, with your nutrition, with the weather, with I don't know what else. Combine all those different data together and then get let's say, a better algorithm and a better calculation for your insulin to keep you like as accurately treated as only possible.
Well, that's interesting. And we have spoken to a company that was talking about getting your DNA, and then based on your DNA, they could determine what the right levels of medication were for someone. So that it's more specific. So the blockchain is taking us a lot further forward in medicine side of things. This sounds great, and I'm sure there's some catches in here. But my first question about healthcare, and the biggest challenge to healthcare at the moment, is the unique identifiers for patients. People have similar names. They have their social security number stolen, duplicates, etc. How do you deal with that?
Oh, that's actually one of the most interesting issues we are dealing with right now. And especially when we think about cross-border, then that's really the hardest issue to tackle. Right now, we are working with a very simple approach, which is you can open up a user account and use your personal identity, which you put in yourself, right? So Healthbank services are completely end-to-end encrypted. So by creating your account, you generate a private key and you generate a public key, which is, by the way, managed on the blockchain, but that's a side story here. But we currently rely on the fact that if you walk into a hospital and get some X-ray taken, for example, because you got sick, then that the hospital can rely on you being the person, because they can, for example, see an ID or something of you, which we do not yet. However, in the future, we are thinking about something like a universal ID, maybe something that is blockchain proved or even blockchain built. We know of a lot of amazing startups, for example, in developing countries, where people don't even get issued a passport or an ID card, but that can actually build their own identity via a microfinance transaction and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff out there in the market that we are currently screening and that we want to work with in the future, potentially, to find something like a universal identity. But very clearly also an issue we have not tackled yet.
Yeah, as long as you've got some sort of unique identification, such as their name or their email address, and people have chosen it, then you're okay at the moment. Totally understand. And that's probably the best way to come at the problem. People self-elect to be part of it, and they choose their own unique identifier. It's a very interesting area, because technology and healthcare are sort of blurring. And I read this morning that Apple now employ 50 doctors, and they've got FDA approval for their ECG within the Apple Watch. Yeah. So I think this is very, very up and coming. You must have a problem with trying to work out where this stops, because you can get people's health data, you can get their exercise data, you can pull from something like MyFitnessPal what people are eating. Like, where does it stop with the data that you're pulling in?
Well, actually, I don't know. And that's one of the reasons why I'm working for Healthbank. Because I do want to make this a little bit better. I do want to educate people not only in health literacy, but also in data privacy literacy. So that's a huge issue. Just to mention one example, you just said FitnessPal. I have another example. Last year, the fitness or wearable producer Strava published a so-called heat map of running, swimming, and cycling activities of their users. They simply just, you probably have seen it on Facebook. Somebody else did a run and they just put it on Facebook and said, like, this was the route I took. It took me approximately 54 minutes and I ran at a pace of something like miles an hour. So Strava put all these data like on top of each other and developed a heat map where you can see on every single place on this planet where people ran, swam, or cycled with Strava devices. What's the problem with that? So Strava says all this data is anonymized. However, it can be de-anonymized, first of all. And secondly, they suddenly revealed a lot of military fields in the middle of Afghanistan or even in the Antarctica. So by doing that, you disclose, by putting this on Facebook or sharing your data with Strava, you disclose so much of yourself, and it can be traced back to you. And you also involuntarily disclose so much of other people as well. So, for example, if you worked in the army and you were in Afghanistan, then you would basically reveal military secrets. What's the problem with that? Well, as of now, not so much, but just imagine somebody can trace your very personal data and can trace like, oh my God, he ate another fat piece of pork again this week. And by the way, in his shopping cart, there's the 5th bottle of wine this week. So this guy might actually get a problem. If this data is being leaked to your health insurance, then you will certainly have a problem. And this is what we want to prevent. So we want to educate people to say like, okay, these are the consequences when I share my health data. These are the consequences that could actually fall back on me. And we want to help people understand, and we want to help people sharing data consciously and responsibly.
Yeah, and that's a big thing at the moment, privacy. We're all collecting this data, and that's a great thing, but we also want to be in control of it. And it's like when we get a fitness device that connects to, and I use the example of the Apple iPhone simply because I use one. You have to give permissions for that app to update health information and also pull down health information. But everybody's just going to click on all and then complain in the future that they did that. So the privacy thing, and especially with the Afghanistan thing, is very interesting. You mentioned earlier that there's a big take-up of this in Germany. Do you think that there are different attitudes in Germany to other parts of the world towards healthcare?
Well, I think when it comes to data privacy or data protection, then Germany is probably one of the hardest countries to tackle. So people are way more skeptical about data privacy and data protection. So they take it way more seriously, and they think twice to give up data protection just for usability. And I think just comparing, for example, the American culture with the German culture, or US American culture, to be more precise, then you can see in the United States, people are more up for using services that are convenient, whereas in Germany, people are usually or tend to be more for services that are more complicated, but protect the data.
Yeah, it's very well known that Germany has far too many laws, and I've seen your tax forms as well. It's a very it's very rigid, and I think, is it Bavaria where you're not allowed to mow the lawn on a Sunday?
I think that's actually all over the place in Germany. That's all over Germany, I think.
Yeah, for our worldwide listeners, Germany has a lot of rules, and one of the rules is on Sunday it's going to be quiet. It's a family day. You cannot mow your lawn.
Yeah, and on Saturdays, by the way, not between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Of course not, because that's when Daddy is sleeping, or something like that. Yeah, there we go. Fantastic. I must say, my own experience of Germany has always been a lot of fun, and everybody I've met in Germany has got a great sense of humor. So those stereotypes are being broken down one by one. So this is interesting. How long has Healthbank been around?
So basically, the original idea goes back to 2013, when a group of 28 people, mostly from academia, from the law perspective, from a medicine perspective, founded Healthbank Cooperative. So, and that's one particular thing I may want to talk about later. That's the cooperative thing. But a cooperative has not been very, let's say, venture capital friendly. So we decided to establish Healthbank Innovation AG as a limited company and subsidiary of the cooperative in Switzerland in 2015. And that's when the real stuff started. So that's when we started developing the platform. That's when we started reaching out to potential users to talk about the idea and get some opinion and stuff like that. We went live with our first version in 2016 and have done a complete revamp of our software architecture and backbone early 2018, went live with that in May this year. And so thus far, we have approximately a bit more than 250,000 registered users. I'm still not very far away from being happy with our product, but that's me being probably a bit too demanding. Yeah, that's where we are now.
Being demanding and being the boss go hand in hand, really. So I wouldn't worry about that. But it's always seek for perfection. That works.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, speaking of perfection, how much does it cost?
For the user, nothing at all. And we actually also want to keep it that way.
Wow.
Because we believe that the adoption rate would be lower if it costs something. And secondly, we believe that the patient should be the one benefiting the most from it.
Wow. So there's no reason why our listeners shouldn't be signing up now and starting to reap the benefits.
That's correct. The only reason why that I see right now, which goes back to me being demanding, is that a few users may want to see more functionalities on the platform, which are coming over the course of time. We have a lot of amazing stuff lined up, but developing just takes some time. Testing takes some time. So a few people may be a little bit impatient.
Well, call me geeky. But I use a number of applications, and like everybody else, whenever I get an update, I feel like I'm getting something for free. So I love updating my phone. It's one of the first things I do in the morning. I love updating my laptop. It's quite geeky, but I like it when Runkeeper and Waze and a few other applications, they update and they add a bit of functionality. It feels like I'm getting something. And I think, from my own personal perspective, if you start off with a simple platform and then add functionality, people don't feel overwhelmed. They can start using that functionality.
That's absolutely correct. No. You are absolutely right. And again, this goes back to me being the guy who has like so many ideas in his head and is so impatient I can't wait to see them being alive. That's probably it.
Yeah, I'm working with somebody exactly like that. And the other day over lunch, we planned out a very simple idea for a new type of database. It's great. It would take so much development, but just having ideas is something, because not everybody has those. Yeah. And I think it's good, and it's a good platform to have. So I haven't logged in or subscribed yet. So what do? We go to the website, which is
www.healthbank.me.
Excellent. We do that, and then we set up our username and password, and then we import all of our health data.
That's correct. Yeah.
And it's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. You will, I think, with our next release next Tuesday, you will also get the availability to integrate your Apple Watch data to your account automatically, but you can also just upload doctor's letters and stuff that you have at home that you can get scanned and want to build your own history, and then we add more services over the course of time to that.
That's great. So I've just gone to it. The website looks good. That's healthbank.me. It's not .com, it's .me. So I would say the ideal person at the moment to use this would be somebody who is traveling a lot, who doesn't like carrying lots of paperwork, and who wants good medical treatment if something does go wrong.
That's correct, yeah. But I would also add people that with very specific and rather chronic or severe diseases that are very interested in, because they generate so much health data over the course of such a short time. It's so hard to manage all the different letters, all the different DVDs with X-rays and MRIs and stuff like that. So I think that's a very good use case for chronically and severely ill people. Also, like from my very personal experience, because I'm currently taking care of my mother, who is having cancer. And so for me, it's so much easier to manage all the different letters and stuff on behalf of her, because that's one of the most important features on Healthbank, that I can also decide to share my data with my relatives, with my family, so they can take care of me in case I can't.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but it's good that you've got this solution here to help you, and this does make sense, so that you can give the same data to other members of your family, so that they've got the same information. It's updated, and it means that you can have some time to mow the lawn while the rest of the family look after your mother.
Yeah. Or while the rest of the family is sleeping on a Saturday.
I just had one quick question before we go. I learned a new German word about the HBE token is used primarily to hold equity rights, or Anteilscheine. Is that how you say that word?
Anteilscheine.
That's my big question. I'm curious how people can get involved with the token generation.
Well, that's very easy, actually. So we are currently in our pre-STO phase. So we're running a security token offering, giving away equity in Healthbank Cooperative, which is a very, very particular organization. However, from February 28th, 2019, you can take part in our public STO and sign up via the website healthbank.info. Healthbank.info, and then you can just sign up and buy shares of Healthbank Cooperative, basically.
Excellent stuff. And yeah, I'm sorry we haven't talked about the blockchain aspects of it, but this does sound like you've got a really good platform. It's based on some really good technology, and it's good that our users can get involved in two different ways. Not only can it help our users, but they can actually invest in this as well. Excellent.
Beautiful.
Great stuff. Thank you very much for your time today. That's been very interesting, and I'm sure our listeners have got something back from that. If you do want to go to the website, healthbank.me, as Karston said, it's free, so you might as well log in and have a play with it. And more functionality is coming on Tuesday next week. So think about that as your early Christmas present from Healthbank.
I wish you guys a very Merry Christmas.
You too. Thanks.
And you, sir, and you too. Please keep in touch and tell us about your future of the Healthbank, and let us know if you've got any major releases coming out, and we can tell our users about that as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Fabulous. Thank you. Have a good day, and guten Abend.
Guten Abend. Thank you so much. Have a good time.
Cheers. Bye-bye.